that the students were still receiving medical attention and debriefing at a medical facility in Kaduna. You know, it is a distance of almost 10 kilometers from the school to Kaduna City. So the parents left. And this morning, because of the information they received that the students will probably be brought into the school for reuniting or to reunite with them around 12 o'clock. So the parents are yet to come in large numbers, but some have already really come in. And they are also waiting for the students to be brought in for formal handing over to the school management. So the situation right now is, all is set for the receipt of the students. The auditorium hall is also set where the, mini ceremony for the receipt of the students will be done. That's the situation for now.
All right, Suleiman, obviously the parents are anxiously waiting to be reunited with their wards and their children. Just give us an indication what the mood is like there currently, apart from the officer celebratory mood that the parents are in. Anything else happening around the vicinity there?
Yes, just like the mood yesterday, it was full of celebration, joy, and expression of gratitude and appreciation to God. Also now, the parents who have already come in, waiting for the arrival of the students, are also very happy, anxiously waiting to receive their loved ones. And standing with me is one of the parents who will share with us the happiness, the joy in reuniting with his son who was abducted about 7 weeks ago. Sir, your name, sir?
My name is Odide Ipete.
All right, one of your child was kidnapped 7 weeks ago. Tell us how the experience was.
In fact, the experience I have seen for the day that he have been kidnapped, in fact, I run very much. Because you having a son and you didn't see him for 2 or 3 days, how will you feel? I feel very painful. And today, I'm very, very happy as my son is coming back to join me today to celebrate with me as a father.
When the son was still in the captivity of the abductors, did you have any contact with him?
I doesn't have any other contact with him.
So it was really pathetic.
Yes.
So now that you are waiting anxiously, I can see that you are happy. How do you feel?
I am happy more than everything because he's arriving in Kaduna on that very day night. He called me that day, I am back to Kaduna.
All right.
So I say, how is your condition? He said, well, I'm okay.
All right.
So I feel very happy.
So maybe, children can get panicked by experience like this. Probably when he comes out, when you are reunited with him, he may tell you, I will not go back to school. What is your message for
No, actually, he will go back to school.
All right.
That is a part of lesson.
Okay.
You understand? Maybe if you go back to school, I don't know in future how it's going to be a history to his children.
All right.
So I will not say that my child will not come back to the school. My child will come back to the school and continue. It's a journey.
Let me say congratulations, sir.
Yes,
thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. So that is one of the parents who is also, happily and anxiously waiting to receive his son who was abducted.
All right, Suleiman, thanks for that update. Certainly very good to see the parents there in jubilatory mood, and certainly the burden has been lifted up off their shoulders. We'll get back to you later in the day once the reunion begins in earnest. Thank you, Suleiman.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, let's get to other news now. President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria is ready to push higher the existing cordial relations between the country and the Republic of Guinea-Bissau so as to align them with the strategic and economic priorities of the two countries. The president stated this on Thursday after receiving in audience his Guinea-Bissau counterpart, Umaru Sissako Ambalo. State House correspondent Adam Musambo has the report.
This is the 7th time President Umaru Sissako Ambalo is coming to Nigeria since coming to power in January last year. President Muhammadu Buhari described the relationship between the two countries as well as their leaders as robust and stable. He commended President Umaru Ambalo, whom he described as a brother, true friend of Nigeria, and a visionary leader for his efforts at meeting the aspirations of his people. Nigeria played a significant role in stabilizing the political and security situation in Guinea-Bissau, which faced a serious threat of disintegration after disputed elections. For President Umaru Ambalo, the government of Guinea-Bissau cannot thank Nigeria enough, saying the trajectory of bilateral relations points to a brighter future for the two countries and the entire West African sub-region.
All this support Nigeria and of course Baba for Guinea-Bissau to stabilize is why today I'm coming here to say Baba, thank you very much for supporting Guinea-Bissau. Today, a lot of people that forget about Guinea-Bissau because we don't have bad reputation all the time in Guinea-Bissau and the news. Thank you again, Baba. Thank you very much.
Guinea-Bissau, which had been on the agenda of ECOWAS summits in the last 20 years, is now on the path to a prosperous future. And as President Ambalo says, this is the best moment to visit and say thank you to the Nigerian leader. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Two national policies formulated by the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy have been unveiled by President Muhammadu Buhari in furtherance of his administration's efforts at effectively securing the country, enhancing economic development, and fighting corruption. They are the National Policy for the Promotion of Indigenous Content in Nigeria's Telecommunications Sector and the revised National Identity Policy for SIM card registration. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again brings us details.
The National Policy for the Promotion of Indigenous Content in the ICT sector is aimed at ensuring that Nigerians become active participants in various sectors of the economy. This, President Buhari said, is in line with the mandate given to the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy to collaborate more effectively with the private sector towards creating a large number of well-paying jobs for Nigerians in furtherance of efforts at lifting 100 million out of poverty in 10 years.
As a country, our desire to produce what we eat and consume what we produce is not limited to the literal meaning. Rather, we want to work towards being self-sufficient in every sector of the economy. For the telecom sector, we want Nigerians to play a major role in the design and manufacture of devices, in meeting the manpower requirements, and in becoming an active part of the telecommunication ecosystem of the country.
The revised National Digital Identity Policy for SIM card registration, on the other hand, will support government's genuine efforts at enhancing national security and stability for sustainable economic development. The president, who described NIN as the foundational digital ID for the country, said attempts made in the past to promote its usage were futile due to a number of reasons, including sabotage.
We are fully committed to the safety of Nigerians, and linking the SIM to national identification number will significantly enhance security. This is an incredible achievement. I'm very, very pleased with that. We'll be able to identify people, including the crooks. Our goal is to make sure technology provides a platform for improving service delivery in the country and does not become a tool for perpetrating crimes.
Consequently, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, has again been directed by the President to ensure that no SIM card is allowed to access Nigeria's telecommunications network unless attached to the national identification number. He also directed the minister to coordinate the implementation of both national policies and urge all stakeholders to ensure compliance. The minister, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, had earlier told participants that the two national policies, which he described as robust, are products of effective collaboration and cooperation with critical stakeholders from both private and public sectors, including security agencies.
Some of the initiatives we have introduced recently are being copied by other African countries, and they are always making reference to our modest innovation and also trying to emulate what we have been doing. When it comes to national identification number, within 6 months, we were able to achieve over 12 million citizens who have enrolled in the database. Part of our effort of promoting indigenous content in ICT sector, we were able to establish a world-class SIM card manufacturing company in Nigeria, which has the capacity to be producing a minimum of 200 million SIMs annually.
During the event, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami was applauded by the president for what he called the landmark achievements of the digital economic sector, including championing the growth and development of the local content initiative. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Over now to the National Assembly, where the Senate has met with service chiefs and heads of security agencies, where it's received strategic information on Nigeria's current security situation, its challenges and prospects. Before the meeting, which took place behind closed doors, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, acknowledged the role of the security operatives so far in fighting insecurity, which he said is affected by inadequate resources. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports.
The Senate had restricted its plenary to only Tuesdays and Wednesdays as part of its COVID-19 precautions. But the need for an urgent and constructive dialogue involving the legislators and heads of security agencies on Nigeria's security situation brought about the adjustment in timetable. Shortly after it reconvened for the special session, Leader of the Senate, Yahaya Abdullahi, moved the motion to usher in their guests. The Chief of Defense Staff, Service Chiefs, Directors General of the Department of State Service, National Intelligence Agency, Defense Intelligence Agency, and Inspector General of Police. The session dissolved into a closed door, with senators optimistic of a silver lining at the end of the engagement.
Because we know that we are doing your best with what you have at hand. But I want to assure you and everyone that the challenges we face are taken extremely seriously by the Parliament. Hardly a day passes without this Senate discussing one security incident or the other.
4 hours later, the executive session ends and President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, listed the areas discussed during the meeting.
On their plans of containing the present insecurity situation in the country. Thereafter, they answered questions from distinguished senators bordering on security, insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping, and other topical national security matters.
Work together with the executive and the heads of security agencies and ensure a long-lasting peace.
This is the first time these service chiefs will be meeting with the senators in the Hallowed Chamber. Senate has adjourned to Tuesday, the 18th of May, 2021 for Salah break. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
Vice President Professor YemiOsinbajo says the unity of the country should not in any way be compromised. He said this when he paid a courtesy visit on the Obi of Owa Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Dr. Emmanuel Efezomo II, at his palace in Owa Oyibu, Ika, Northeast Local Government Area of Delta State. Tessie Coker reports.
The Vice President, who is in Delta State to inaugurate the Federal Road Safety Corps Marshal Inspectorate Training School in Owa-Alero, said those fanning the amber of discord in the country should be cautioned against such move. For the VP, Nigeria is a great nation because of its diversity irrespective of its present challenges. He said Nigerians should harness the inherent benefits in the nation's diversity to promote sustainable socio-economic growth and development of the country. To truly achieve this, he said, Nigeria as a nation should continue to promote justice, equity, and fairness among the diverse nationalities in the country.
And so everywhere we go, we must re-emphasize that our country is great because it is a country of such diverse people, of such diverse talents, such diverse values. And so when sometimes we hear those who are agitating and advocating that the country should break into little parts, we must say that we must caution them and let them understand that little countries all over the world are not stronger because they are small. As a matter of fact, the smallest countries in our part of the world have experienced the greatest conflict.
The Owa monarch, Dr. Emmanuel Efezemo II, while welcoming Professor Oshibanjo to his palace, thanked the federal government for its continuous partnership irrespective of party affiliation as he pledged Delta's commitment in ensuring peace in Nigeria.
I want to thank you for the respect, honor, and dignity accorded our government.
In Owa-Alero, Tessie Koka, NTA News.
You are watching the News at 10 on NTA News 24. We'll have more reports on the Vice President's engagements in Delta States after this break. Do stay with us.
Let's blow your trumpets. Advertise on NTA News 24, located at the headquarters premises of the NTA, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. Our rates are affordable. Our reach is far and wide. We are on DSTV channel 419, Star Times channel 101, Go TV channel 46, Free TV channel 703. NTA News 24. News and more news.
Thanks for remaining with us. Now, in what is considered an indication of the in-depth understanding of governance and purposeful partnership with the federal government, the Delta State government has built and handed over a Federal Road Safety Corps Marshal Inspectorate Training School to the federal government. Vice President YemiOsinbajo at the event says effective collaboration between the federal government through its agencies and state governments will bring about more dividends and improved service delivery to Nigerians. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The Vice President, who is in Delta State to inaugurate the Federal Road Safety Corps Marshal Inspectorate Training School in Owa-Alero, said those fanning the amber of discord in the country should be cautioned against such move. For the VP, Nigeria is a great nation because of its diversity irrespective of its present challenges. He said Nigerians should harness the inherent benefits in the nation's diversity to promote sustainable socio-economic growth and development of the country. To truly achieve this, he said, Nigeria as a nation should continue to promote justice, equity, and fairness among the diverse nationalities in the country.
And so everywhere we go, we must re-emphasize that our country is great because it is a country of such diverse people, of such diverse talents, such diverse values. And so when sometimes we hear those who are agitating and advocating that the country should break into little parts, we must say that we must caution them and let them understand that little countries all over the world are not stronger because they are small. As a matter of fact, the smallest countries in our part of the world have experienced the greatest conflict.
The Owa monarch, Dr. Emmanuel Ifezemo II, while welcoming Professor Oshibanjo to his palace, thanked the federal government for its continuous partnership irrespective of party affiliation, as he pledged Delta's commitment in ensuring peace in Nigeria.
I want to thank you for the respect, honor, and dignity accorded our government.
In Owa Alero, Tessie Koka, NTA News.
Well, apologies for that slight mix-up. We'll get Jide or Nifade's report to you later in the course of the bulletin, if we get it. Meanwhile, Nigeria is facing diverse challenges, no doubt, but it will overcome the problems and realize its potentials, especially if people who share progressive views continue to work together in the interest of the country. Vice President YemiOsinbajo stated this when he received members of a Southwest think tank, Imodoye, led by former Ogun State Governor Otumba Benga Daniel. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Speaking on the efforts of the administration to address some of the challenges confronting Nigerians, Vice President YemiOsinbajo noted that the best way out is to have a massive plan for investment to create opportunities for jobs, which the government is hoping to achieve with the Economic Sustainability Plan. The Vice President reiterated that the welfare of the people and the progress of the country has always been and will remain the priority of the All Progressives Congress and that of the administration. Leader of the delegation and former governor of Ogun State, Benga Daniel, says the visit is to identify with and support the cause of the Vice President, whom he describes as intelligent, hardworking, articulate, and a very proud son of the Southwest region in the task of nation building.
Because it's only when we have a country that we can begin to talk of Party A and Party B. So the first challenge we have now is of all of us to join hands together to ensure that we have a country.
The former governor, who is now an APC member, was accompanied on the Katsu visit by some other new entrants into the party. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Now, for agencies to comply with revenue generation regulations to boost the Federation accounts, there is need for amendments in the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Chairman Senate Committee on Finance, Solomon Adiola, resonated this at an interactive session with key financial stakeholders. Mobolaji Moribiri reports.
The interactive meeting between the committee and key actors in the financial sector was to discuss the preliminary findings during its investigative hearing with revenue-generating ministries, agencies, and departments weeks ago.
Most disturbing issue we have found out is that even those that are 100% funded still go ahead and spend the revenue generated by them, and also collect budget from the budget.
In providing solutions to matters arising, relevant stakeholders promised to work with the committee, particularly now that the nation is struggling to boost its economy.
Hoping that we can work very closely with you to do further amendments to the Fiscal Responsibility Act. There have been a number of circulars that have gone out, and we note that agencies have interpreted the circulars in different ways. So it is actually better when amendments are made to the law.
So we made attachments to our submissions. In all this, there are criteria. There is a template that has to be followed, which we have circulated to all agencies.
The objective of the meeting is for revenue-generating MDAs to comply with the Fiscal Responsibility Act. From the National Assembly, Mobolaji Moribiri, NTA News.
In an effort to promote the culture of volunteerism geared towards sustainable national development, a national policy on inclusive volunteerism has been unveiled by the federal government. Mitari Ikpen gives us details.
Volunteers give their time and skills freely for a task they are passionate about, such as community service. The activities go a long way in complementing government's developmental efforts. However, the culture of volunteerism is believed to be declining in Nigeria.
People are not aware of the benefits of volunteerism. People believe that it's just for them to come out and do something. Of course, it's something that you do willingly, not with financial gain. But at the end, a lot of gain can come from volunteerism.
This national policy, approved by the Federal Executive Council, is part of government strategies towards reviving the culture of volunteerism in Nigeria. It provides strategic guidelines for facilitators in government and the private sector to encourage and promote volunteerism across the country.
Nigerian government has recognized volunteerism as a potential force, and on the part of the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, I wish to assure you that we will give all the necessary and required support for each MDA to make sure this policy works.
A sensitization workshop is ongoing for focal persons in ministries, departments, and agencies of government who are expected to drive the implementation of the national policy. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
You're still on to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We'll take another break now. We'll be back in just a moment.